The average Lutheran graduates from the average Lutheran confirmation class knowing very little and believing even less.
Confirmation. What do I remember about confirmation?
Boring, really boring.
My pastor didn't even get my name right the day of confirmation.
Books aren't a big part of their lives. They're not accustomed to oral speech and reading essays. They like to have it come at them in quick little bites.
Blame culture, blame television, blame the pastor's teaching methods or the dated material of your church publishing house.
Hey, blame the radon gas in your basement if you want to.
The fact is, we're turning out a generation of biblically illiterate and spiritually immature young people who don't know what we thought we taught them and don't know how to address any issues of faith and life from a grounded biblical perspective.
Jesus loves me, this I know, for my mommy told me so.
We're just dead meat here in the church if we deliver this only to what we call those who are paid to do it.
Pastors need help. Even Jesus had 11 friends.
Winston Churchill once said that there are basically three kinds of people: those who let things happen, those who make things happen, and those who don't know anything has happened. Sad to say, I think the vast majority of our churches fall into that third category when it comes to the times we live in and the effects that they have on today's youth. Hi, I'm Rich Melheim, and for the next half hour I'd like to look today at kids, parents, role models, and a radical shift I think we need to make if the Lutheran Church is going to survive on into the next century. To do this, I've invited some of my favorite people.
And some he doesn't like very much.
You'll have to excuse him, he's my alter ego.
Is that A-L-T-A-R or A-L-T-E-R?
He's a bit of a cynic.
From the Greek word kunos, meaning dog.
He pops up from time to time, comes out of me. I've been doing this kind of ministry for 12 years.
12 years? Huh, what, couldn't you get a real job?
So, sit back and relax as some of my favorite people from coast to coast help us take a look at parents, kids, role models, and structures we have in a place to bring young people today to a living Christian faith. Kids today, they are wild and wonderful and wonder-filled.
Kids today, we're great!
And confused and desperately in need of intimacy.
Kids? Gosh, I don't remember. It's been so long.
And they have short memories, but they're surprisingly open to spirituality.
They don't listen, and they're irresponsible and don't have a lot of direction.
When my mother said you're grounded, you was grounded. And she's right, you don't talk about it. Today they come home, they say anything they want about teachers.
They need parents to be understanding and like to talk to them about their daily problems and everything. That's what they really need, their parents.
They need adults to give them love and take away their guns from them.
Okay, thank you.
They're a remote control generation who have had the opportunity to shut off what they don't like and turn on to what's exciting. They're not accustomed to being read to or to reading themselves. They're a visual rather than an oral generation. They've spent long hours alone. In those hours, they've been stimulated by the electronic media. They've watched television, they've played with their computers, they've listened to music. Consequently, relationships are odd and much sought after, but yet strange and difficult for them.
I grew up in an age where you were worried, had fallout shelters and worried about a nuclear holocaust. My kids have something, their fears of AIDS. This is a deeper fear than the fear that I grew up with.
What do you think kids and teenagers today need the most from
From
adults?
adults is some basic common respect and understanding, because they were once teenagers themselves. They should impress upon these what society wants right now, because that's all they do. I'm personally a father. I have 4 children, so I know.
I think what kids today need from adults is control, which comes from letting them go, enough rope. Sometimes, in some cases, and the information before that happens. It's like, we'll give you the information while we're like totally limiting you, and now that you have the information, you have enough rope to hang yourself, but at least we're giving you that chance so you can act out or whatever, but at least you're learning. At least it's not like you're just getting information all the time and pretty soon you're just going to rebel and like kind of hate your entire environment.
I think it's not easy to be a kid today. I think it probably never has been, but there are challenges now that kids face that are quite remarkable, because it appears as though we're taking children for granted. We've come through a previous couple of generations in which the focus on children was profound in our society, and the immigrants were concerned that their children had opportunities that they didn't have. And then that next generation was profoundly concerned that the schools and the churches would be ready and able to help equip their children for the next generation. And now it appears that we're so busy with ourselves and taking care of our own needs and wants and aspirations that children largely get missed.
Young people today are a different animal than any other generation the world has known.
Growing up in a culture where few ethical absolutes exist, morality is just a matter of personal choice.
There are no rights or wrongs, no blacks or whites.
Only choices and shades of gray.
The media has spoon-fed us their version of values since we were in training pants.
Sex, materialism, decadence.
With this premature overexposure to the raw and sometimes raunchy adult world comes a
cocky pseudo-sophistication.
A rather tainted view of life, value, and values.
Developing minds that were once protected from early on are now subtly skewed from the start.
Jawohl. By the time I was 13, I had already seen, heard, and experienced more than my parents in their 20s.
This is the second generation of young people weaned by television, but the first to hit the streets of adolescence with the remote control mentality. Think about it. If you're bred in a moral vacuum and raised with the birthright of immediate gratification, you know what to do if you aren't being entertained.
At school.
At church.
At work.
If we aren't getting what we want, we know what to do.
We change channels. There was a day when commercials were 30 seconds long. Then they were 15 seconds.
Why? Because people with remotes are bored with that and they'll zap you out.
Kids don't like what they're seeing. Will we see 3 seconds? Who knows?
Take this negative attention span, entertainment mentality, and handheld power into your average confirmation classroom, and what do you get? Bored kids?
No, they're far beyond boredom. Most kids haven't even paid enough attention to get bored.
What do you think kids need from adults?
A bigger allowance. Freedom. More freedom to explore whatever they want to do. Their goals, their passions, stuff like that.
Okay, thanks. Thanks a lot.
Lessons, education, honesty.
Support. Absolute support and respect.
True.
Education by example.